Everybody listening, well, first off, welcome. This is High Quality Conversation, episode 1. I'm your host, Avyon Smith. If you guys are familiar a little bit, we did do a high quality conversation um, kind of run, right? Me and my friend Bats. But we had a conversation about something. He said to me something interesting. He said, bro, I don't really have much to say. And I thought about that. I kind of have a lot of weird shit to say. So if you're a fan of the sports podcast, find it entertaining. This is going to be everything non-sports related, or I guess that happens not on the field. We're talking the world. I don't want to say politics because I'm not some person who's going to go out of their way to learn a crazy amount of stuff. I'm just a guy, an uneducated man talking about a number of different topics that maybe made me chuckle a little throughout the week. Um, but the first topic, I mean, it's not even something that really made me chuckle. In fact, it kind of pissed me off. It kind of bothered me a lot. It's I'll just explain it. It's gonna be something like these weird niche groups. Like if you ever get a really oddly specific ad, and don't be the guy that's like, oh well, those ads are curated for you. Shut up, okay? But I get ads like this, and I'll tell you how this all started. But you'll see an ad. It's like, hey, are you a are you a fan of old contemporary art and also bisexual and also biracial and also depressed? Well, this is the group for you. Hmm. I don't think that sounds like the group for you. In fact, if you're out, I don't even know what I'm really trying to get at right now, but this shit's pissing me off. I don't like how each group, like, you used to have to find a general sense of community. Like, for me personally, I found the gym to be a really good place. I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing football. That was a general kind of group. And then you found your friends within that. And then you had a general sense of community, right? And then me being depressed, me being bisexual, I'm not. I know you guys wish I was. I'm not. Biracial, am actually quadracial. But you get what I'm saying. That would be me in that group. That would be like, oh, that's Avion. He likes hitting arms, kind of gets depressed, and sometimes he fucks dudes. That's not me, just in this scenario. I don't know what happened, but now it's almost like everyone's trying to surround themselves with themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like I'm trying to figure out what I mean, but you hate yourself. So I don't understand why you would want to be in a room with 50 other yous. I don't know if you're trying to speed up the process, or maybe if you're around yourself, you'll think you'll like yourself or something, but this is not the way to do it. I think the way to do it is bring back that general sense of community. Because I'll tell you what, if someone walked up to me and goes, yo, are you a first generation college student who dropped out because of a crazy drug addiction and now you're trying to restart your life using stand up comedy? Well, this is the group for you. I would throw a fucking drink in your face and I would say, no, that guy sounds like a loser. That guy sounds like a total idiot. But that's me. Do you get what I'm saying here? You don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of individuals exactly like you. Now, if you have something like minded, like stand up, that's cool. But I'm not going to go around and surround myself with people who are literally me. That's just not something that I'm going to do. Um, and here's how it all started, too. I'm on Instagram scrolling. That's obviously where I fucked up first, scrolling. It'd be 2 in the morning. I'm just dead scrolling. And again, you could say this is a product of my own scrolling, what I like, whatever. But this video popped up. And I don't want you guys to hear a bunch of fucking buzzwords and be like, oh my God, he's saying something weird. Listen, this is literally what happened. And if I had the girl's page, but no free clout, but let me tell you what happened. I'm on Instagram dead scrolling. Wait, let me get my pen. I don't want to lose topics here. But I'm on Instagram. Dead scrolling here, right? I'm dead scrolling, and this video pops up. This woman in a business suit, you know, the fake green screen on TikTok that you can put behind you. She's in a restaurant, and then her reaction was kind of like startling. She was like, "Huh, what did that person just say behind me?" And and the caption said, "When you're at dinner, when you're at dinner and the table behind you goes, quote unquote," this is apparently what she heard in said restaurant when she's sitting here in the green screen restaurant. She says, "When you hear the table behind you go, that's why black women will never break into crypto. Make sure to follow me if you want to prove guys like this wrong." Okay, first of all, I don't know any black women that are into crypto, and you have about 2,000 followers. I saw that because I had to check out a page. The 2,000 followers, you found every black woman in the world that's into crypto, okay? And if they're good people, great. But any more you find at this point, because if you're into crypto, you're just gonna scam your fucking family. I couldn't, I don't know if that's a group I'd even want to really surround myself with, but you get what I'm saying here? These weird, specific, are you black and into crypto trying to prove the white man wrong and break into crypto with me, but really when you draw it up, it looks like a fucking triangle because it's a pyramid scheme and I've been screwing you over because I love you. That's what it is. That's all these things are because all they want to do is get you close, get you near and close enough to where you can fund their lives, right? And then they're going to start doing more things and they're going to do what they actually needed to do from the beginning, right? just just admit you want to be famous. Just admit you want to get into the crypto world. And you know what people might do? People might see, oh look, there's a person kind of like me into this, so I'll follow her. But instead, you're trying to snag this oddly specific group of people just to fund your local dreams. Like no one gives a hell. Drake just dropped an album talking about small town fame. This is what I'm talking about. Small town fame. You have 2 to 5,000 followers in your hometown. You know what I mean? Maybe you get a $200 brand deal. I fucking doubt it. But this 5 to 10,000 followers and you never leaving your hometown. I'm from San Diego. What I'm describing is every other chick under the age of 30. And if you're over the age of 30 in San Diego with 10,000 followers, your shit says lifestyle, okay? It says family, God, lifestyle, fitness. You sound like Creed. Remember that scene off The Office with Creed in it? And he goes, "I love my family. I love my kids. I love wrestling. I love my car. I love my job." That's what you guys literally sound like, but on Instagram. You get me? So stop. Just look, just fucking stop it. Okay? I'm done with the antics. I'm done with people trying to act like they're a morally morally forward celebrity. Are you looking for a Oh my god, that's another thing. I saw this other crazy thing and now this I'm older. I'm 26. So me bringing up streaming, okay, I was around, but I don't watch it, right? But I do watch some of them. Maybe I like a funny clip, whatever it may be. They're funny. I don't watch it. But I had a clip come up, right? And it said, "Huh, this isn't your normal creator. This is a dude who actually appreciates his fans. So make sure to follow me and see my journey." These kids, they're not even embarrassing themselves anymore. Before when I was younger, and this is why I kind of stopped doing YouTube and went to stand up, is because I hated embarrassing myself. I don't mind going on stage and saying words and me trying to do something, but going out and about and trying to embarrass yourself was something I didn't like doing. But I'm starting to realize I actually respected them a whole lot more than these people now. They're not even going there. Like, there's this guy's, oh, the streamer guy we just mentioned. The second guy I'm going to mention, another San Diego guy. I'm really hating on that shit right now. But shout out San Diego. He goes, "Ah ha ha ha. All my haters mad because a Filipino from the suburbs from San Diego is making a hit record." Buddy, buddy, no one gives a fuck about your record. No one gives a fuck that you're making music. In fact, if you told people and it sounded good, which I'm gonna be honest, it did. That's what makes me even more mad. The fact that it actually sounded good and you still are saying stuff like that. But kids these days, they're not even trying. They're just like, this is exactly what I am. Does this relate to you? You should follow me. I don't, I'm sure I relate to some people. I didn't have my upbringing was sort of unique, right? Born in San Diego, interesting household, right? Parents not necessarily locked in, but it was whatever, right? Mom meets another dude. We end up going to Japan. Like I've traveled a lot. I lived in Japan. I bounced countries. I moved a lot of places, learned a lot of things. I would like it if I met another military person, right? But if I met another person who did the same exact thing as me and then also going into just like life stuff, we were very similar, I wouldn't like that. It sounds like you guys already have a me of the group, right? So I don't know. I think individualism needs to come back. I think niche groups need to be put to rest. I think a general sense of community needs to happen more rather than because you people you don't even like being around each other. So why would you want to be around yourselves? I don't understand that. It's like you disagree with people so much that you have to be around people that only agree with what you agree with. You're fucking weird. You're fucking weird. You know that? You know what we used to call it? Like growing up, I don't know if that was normal to you, but you remember that episode of SpongeBob? Remember when Squidward was like, wow, I should go to Squidward land. This is going to be fucking great. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to be surrounded by a bunch of me's. Y'all didn't learn from that episode? So you want to put yourself in this weird small niche group with a bunch of people around you and then think for maybe a week, oh, wow, this is the best thing ever. And then you're going to realize it's crazy. Anybody wanting to be around themselves, a bunch of yous, is fucking nuts. Okay? And then he went back to his uh fucking crazy ass life. I try to say termurulent. Well, I don't even know what the word is. But he went back to the life with SpongeBob and Patrick. You know why? Because it's better. But you don't want to be surrounded by someone who might just be normal because they voted for someone different. Because maybe they think AR-15s aren't the problem, and you're like, oh, go fuck yourself. I don't want to even be in the same gym as you. I don't know. I don't know. 12 and a half minutes of me just talking about niche groups. I could probably talk about it longer because, no, I don't want to join your Eastern European chess club for people that have broken English. But funny enough, that would probably be the only group actually worth exploring so you guys could learn English together through chess. So that's actually a good example. So I guess niche groups aren't necessarily the worst, but they're up there. Um, Next thing I want to talk about, I guess, Kanye. I mean, I guess, right? It's not a bad thing to talk about. I have a number of friends who love Kanye. I have a number of people now in the comedy world. I live in New York. Just to give you an update, I moved here about 5 months ago to pursue stand up comedy more seriously. Um, but a lot of people in the comedy community don't, they're just like, this guy is a nutcase, right? And they'd be, I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. He's probably bipolar. He's probably got a lot of stuff going on. But the funniest thing to me is, and I'm not going to answer your questions if I listen to Kanye West still or not. I'm not going to let you guys know, because I do. There you go. But but I'm not one of those people who will see this and go, he goes on his crazy tweets, and then a couple days later, shit kind of whatever, kind of calms down. Maybe he smoked. Maybe he was like, holy fuck, what did I just do? I was off the shit. And he goes, this was his way of apologizing. After further examination, it's come to find out, I found out that I am indeed, in fact, not a Nazi. That is one of the funniest ways of all time to not only apologize, but to also say to every single person that you just talked about, and what? Go fuck yourself still. Dude, this is gonna happen again. So I don't know why these celebrities, I don't know if it was Charlie Puth. I don't know. I say I don't know because I'm pretty sure that was him. But this again, no hate, but they're like, "Please, Kanye, you have to stop." It's this long paragraph, and I don't know if you guys remember when these texts of Kanye, it wasn't always anti-Semitic. This is almost a decade ago when these text threads first started coming out. Someone would send him a paragraph. If your shit was over 5 sentences, now I'll say, if your shit was 5 sentences long, I'm gonna put it like this. He might have just said, "I'm not reading all that and go fuck yourself." So save your words, save the typewriter. Like this is, I don't know. You gotta go. Like I get you want to talk to him. I know you want to maybe say something to him, but and I know this is kind of fucked up. And I mean, another guy who really doesn't give a fuck, Jerry Seinfeld. You got to kind of be Jerry Seinfeld about it, right? Like someone's recording him the other day. They're like, "Free Palestine," you know? And then Jerry Seinfeld looks at him. He didn't say fuck them. He didn't say anything. I mean, he's a famous Jewish comedian, worked really hard, did a lot of things, made multi-millions of dollars. He simply said, "I don't give a fuck about Palestine." Right? Right? Now, do you? Do we? Do me? Who knows? But that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, that's the kind of approach you have to take towards these kinds of things. Con- Kanye's saying crazy things about it. Like this is horrible. Like this is the same kind of rhetoric. Oh, that's another thing people like to say. This is the same rhetoric that people would use during World War II during the bro, bro. First of all, if I showed you a crackhead on the side of the street saying word for word, bar for bar, what Kanye was tweeting, you would laugh, maybe give the guy $1 and go, "Hey man, you're wildin'. Fuck it. You know, go get a cup of coffee." I wouldn't give him $1 because I'm not anti-Semitic, but you would maybe, right? So that's what we would think. Now, since it's Kanye West, and you guys, well, that's the thing, his platform, his fans. If you're an individual who can look at a Kanye West tweets at a bunch of them and simply go, these should be the 3 reactions. Man, this guy probably has some stuff going on, right? Mental stuff. Maybe there's some undiagnosed stuff going on as well. The stresses of his life, the lack of maybe support group in his family. He crashes out a lot. Maybe it's bipolar. Sure, that's the first one. The second one is, this guy's fucking nuts, right? Right? That's it. Now, those are about the only 2 that I really like. The third one, I do think it's okay, is just like, it's just I don't wanna hear 20 minutes of it, is, "Oh my god, what he's doing is so crazy, and we need to condemn him." I can get, okay, sure, like, whatever, but I don't need a person to throw on an old Kanye West song and you go, "Huh, you guys are still playing this? Bro, Bill Cosby's still on TV and R. Kelly's music is still bumped, okay? I don't we still play Usher's music. We still play Michael Jackson's music. That was a Usher stray, to be honest with you. He didn't really do much besides get herpes, so I'm sorry. That was a stray. And Mike, a lot of those people lied. But at the end of the day, is this new? Is this new? Celebrities going crazy? Would you rather Kanye take a bunch of drugs and fall off a balcony like the One Direction guy? No. No. So stop being so obsessed with the shit he's doing, okay? At the end of the day, the only way to do it, in my opinion, is to look at something and what's your first reaction? This guy's nuts. Move forward. Because all the stuff you're doing is giving it more attention. In the same sense that I thought, and here I am using the word rhetoric because I'm such a fucking smarty pants, Northern Arizona dropout. Wow, 3 years of college. Um, I think in the same sense, it's the same rhetoric that could have lost a lot of this. I know I'm maybe making crazy points here, like crossing lines, but um, I mean, look at the Democratic race. A lot of you were saying like, "Oh my God, like we need to condemn the thing." Look, if you guys just would have straight up just been straight up about the whole thing, talk policy the whole time, and didn't have this turn into a crazy ass thing the way they're doing with Kanye too, we wouldn't be. Maybe the election would have turned out differently. Come to find out, it wasn't the fact that she was really black all that much. I mean, a lot of the time, it turns out a lot of it was the fact that she was a woman. So it's like when you look at stuff like that, what would have been the best option, right? Making a big scene out of Kanye and this election. These are two very separate things, but in my opinion, sort of parallel. Or were you going to look at something, Kanye, for example, the Democrats looking at Trump, you get him like, this guy's fucking nuts now and move forward. But no, but no. So this is just going to be another cycle. And I think in another 6 months, I mean, him and Bianca broke up. So I don't know. Maybe he'll head back to Tokyo. Who knows what he'll do. But as of right now, just move forward, y'all. Just move forward. Kanye doesn't need, y'all don't need, and Kanye don't need. All y'all just don't need each other at this fucking point. Right? Right. But everyone has an opinion. And going into speaking about Trump, actually, this weird thing happened at work this week. I'm at work. I have this lady come in. Excuse me, I need to drink some coffee because I need to drink coffee. So I had this lady come into my job, right? And when I tell you she looked like she could be the teacher in the strawberry shortcake world, we're talking about a lady whose national mascot, like if she could snap her finger, she turned into Hello Kitty. We have strawberries all over the dress, glasses on, red hair, ponytails, glasses. The sweetest teacher in the world or a porn star, one of those two. But she's the sweetest lady. She's a really sweet lady that comes into the shop, right? It comes into our store. She comes in, she tells me, wow, it's, really crazy stuff going on. And I'm thinking it's winter in New York. I'm thinking she's talking about the weather. I'm thinking somebody's face got slashed on the train, which it did to somebody else at my job. So I need to be careful. I guess apparently older white women need to be careful on the train. I guess people aren't fucking with you right now. They went from Asians to you guys. But and by they, I don't mean anybody. And if you thought of anybody specific when I said they, you need to reevaluate your life. You're welcome. But she comes into my job and she goes, "Yep, it's crazy out there." I was like, "Oh, is it really windy?" She goes, "No, the Luigi Mangione stuff going on. Have you kept up?" First of all, no, because I have a fucking life. You understand that? Unless I'm making a joke about it, I don't know. But now that I have this podcast, maybe I'll start talking about news more. But frankly, no, I don't. I know he shot a CEO of United Healthcare. I know that. I mean, if you want to ask my opinion about it, no one did. No one's in the room with me. I'm talking to a fucking blank screen. But we'll get to that. But she comes in and goes, "No, the Luigi Mangione stuff." I was like, "Oh, yeah, like what are they saying?" She's like, "Yeah, it's just crazy what they're doing to him." Okay. All right. Okay. She pulled a trap card on me. She came in with the strawberry shortcake, with the glasses, the sweet little voice, the little mannerisms. Like she would almost like say please and thank you and then go like this with her face. You know? She comes in and goes, "Huh, it's crazy what they're doing to him." Don't call me some capitalist dick rider. I have health insurance and I don't need a fucking back surgery. So I don't know what he went through, right? I grew up in a military family. I had the military's health service, and guess what? They screwed over people in my family to the point where we had to sue and get a huge number of money, right? Right? Not in the millions, but good enough to help us out a lot. So I'm not I'm not I'm not, what is it called, uneducated on the healthcare system. In fact, this is what I mean by I think I could generally speak about a number of things because a lot of weirdly general things have happened to me. Members in my family being screwed over by certain medical practices, whether it be surgery, whether it be people prescribing them pills. I understand that aspect of it, but you don't look at me and go, it's crazy what's happening to him because there's a lot to unpack there, right? We have to talk about oh, well, did he do it? That like is that in your mind? Did he do it? Why don't you don't know that that could be any. The kid was in a McDonald's staying hostel to hostel shaking at the boots with a 3D printed gun on him. The dude in my opinion in my opinion was an individual. Like if someone's talking death sentence, fuck, like I don't think so. Now you can talk about tax dollars, blah blah blah. I don't think so. To be honest with you, I really don't. Now, did what he did condone ever getting parole? Fuck no. But you got to look at it. Good upbringing, right? Good upbringing. Family guy. Handsome kid. Shoot, if I saw him in college or like if he was a friend of mine, we wingmanning all day. Wingmanning all day. We would probably pull puss at least 2 nights out of the month, right? And if you guys don't do math, that's sleeping with 24 women a year, okay? So don't be like 2. We would pull 2 each a month together. That's the kind of kid, he is. All boys school, really good private school, had a really bad back injury. And then it escalated. He stayed indoors a lot, didn't get up a lot, stayed on the internet a lot, used drugs to help with the pain because he had to. United Healthcare, not specifically was his healthcare system, but is the biggest. So that's probably what led to him being upset with them. That's not a hop, skip, and a fucking jump. Okay? That's not a hop, skip, and a jump. That's quite literally just the next step. Oh, what's the biggest? Let's take him out. Obviously, right? Like if I was mad at the NFL for something, CIA don't listen to this. If I was mad at the NFL for something, who's the biggest man in the NFL, but nothing's probably I could shoot Roger Goodell. It's not gonna fucking do anything. The NFL is gonna keep chugging along. So I don't really enjoy the fact that she came in and looked at me looking like the sweetest woman in the world, and I thought I was gonna have a good conversation, and it turned into it's crazy what they're doing to him. Lady, you're the fucking crazy one. Okay? Do I feel bad? Yes. And it's funny because I almost can describe it as a literal sliver of me does. Because imagine having a botched back surgery, metal in your back. I mean, you got to think about it. What I just said, him and I were just got done. Him and I, the last 3 years, have been fucking 2 bitches a month for the past 3 years. Okay. That's 72 chicks for each if you haven't done it. And now he can't fuck anymore? I'd probably shoot someone too. Dead ass. Dead ass. I'd probably shoot someone too. Not the United Healthcare person. Okay. And that's my own issue. Okay. The gun isn't ever pointed. I'm not really an outward kind of pointer. I'm more of an inward pointer, if you get my drift. So that really threw me off. Okay. And then she goes on to say, we have this comment. I'm like, yeah, yeah, because I'm the type of guy to not give anything, especially when I'm at work. I don't want you to know my opinions. I don't want you to think of anything. I'll maybe say we can talk about it another time if it's a coworker. But to be honest with you, with a customer, no. Yeah, that's crazy. And she goes, I'm not all for killing, but this one felt pretty good. Lady, I'm not sure if you're flirting with me and I look like some kind of anarchist. Is that how I present myself to you guys? Because I'm pretty positive I don't. I wear clean clothes every day. Half the time, I don't even double day on jeans, even though you can. Okay. And if you look at me in the face, go, what do you mean double day on jeans? I'm not going to wear them back to back days. But if I rock a pair of jeans and I go out to run 2 errands, I'm probably hanging them up in my section of jeans because I have a different section that doesn't touch other stuff of jeans that I've worn that week just once. Okay. I always wear a clean shirt, I always will have my wife beater under me, which is a fucking undershirt for you guys that don't know. I don't have a wife to beat yet. But let me tell you this. I don't look like an anarchist. This is the most anarchy I look. I'm wearing a San Diego Chargers jersey. I still refuse to believe they went to LA. That's the most anarchist I'll ever be, right? But don't put me in a position where you're like, "Huh, I'm not the killing type, but this is okay." You guys are crazy. And this is the people, I mean, these are the same people calling everyone on the other side crazy. I like to think that I fall directly in between, right? I mean, that's how I'd like to look at it, but I'm definitely liberal leaning for sure. In fact, to a lot of my conservative friends, I'm just a liberal. But the reason we get along, my best friend, I have two best friends. One of them, one of them is completely conservative. I mean, we're talking MAGA hat. We're talking about a guy that surrounds himself with like-minded people, not the niche kind that I'm talking about. We're just talking about a general sense, right? Um, believe in God, conservative, really great people, outdoors. I need to add something else so you guys don't think I'm trying to create parallels between those two things. But these are the people you guys call crazy, right? And then you're going to look at me in the face and go, I'm not for murder, but there's another person who I'd like to kill. There's another person who I'd like to kill. You all are fucking crazy. You need to calm down. And at the end of the day, get over the fact that Trump won. Okay? Get over the fact that a handsome man, it's happened multiple times. We've seen it with literally every serial killer that's a 6 and above. Okay? And shoot, if we really want to talk about it, attractive killers, I mean, that's America's juice. That's America's thing, right? Liberal women, and I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of liberal white women, they can't get themselves enough of a killer. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Now, now let me give you some examples. Luigi Mangione is the latest one, but if you look at history itself, every killer, you go on Netflix, every killer you go up there, I mean, of course you got Ted Bundy. I mean, you got a guy like Dahmer. You got a guy like the Night Stalker. He had fucked up teeth. That dude looked like a heroin addict. The hoes loved him. I'm sorry they did. So that's that, right? And if you really want to talk about it, and this is actually a shout out to Nelly, I don't mean to put your name around so many weird things, but I remember Nelly got accused of, you know, SA, the R word, right? And he came out and said this. He came out and said this. He said, me, Nelly, do that? I don't need to do that. I'm fucking Nelly. And everyone was like, wrap this shit up. He's right. That makes sense. That makes perfect fucking sense. If I showed you a photo of the Night Stalker and Luigi Mangione just sitting there in court, you would be like, yeah, he did it. Compared to Nelly. Okay? Ted Bundy, I'll say this. Given the time period and what was going on and the kind of guys that people liked back then, you'd make a killing today. You're the only guy. You're the only guy I know that probably could be timeless. But to my point, right? These guys aren't even attractive. Luigi's pretty attractive. Sure. Sure. He's not Nelly. He's not a person you need to do mental gymnastics for to think why he didn't do it or why he did it for a good reason. Okay? Choose a better fucking person to get behind, okay? There's a reason why so many of these people get such a huge following. You guys are too obsessed with shit out of your pocket to think that killing a random dude with a family, the head of United Health, well, he's a person. Let me tell you this right now. I don't give a fuck if his name was the one on the paper. He didn't do anything as an individual. He didn't make any executive decisions at the end of the day because there's a number of things that have to happen before things get to him, and there's a number of things that have to happen after. And in retrospect, if you look at the last 3 heads of United Healthcare, I think you guys might go, holy fuck. Holy fuck. We might have fucked up. This guy's actually better than the last 2. But you won't. You won't. You'll think, oh, yeah, I'm an anarchist. My parents pay my rent. I live with my grandparents. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but let me tell you this. If your parents pay your rent, if you don't have a full-time job, these are on top of them, right? You don't have a full-time job. You don't have a girlfriend. You don't have any sort of passion. You're at home too much clinically online. Bro, you don't need to have any fucking opinions on Luigi Mangione. You don't need to have any fucking opinions about the fucking weather. You need to clock the fuck into your life. Okay? That's all I'm just trying to say about that, really. Right. People are crazy. I mean, shoot, I saw this one guy come in. This is how easily swayable we are as a people. Now, to be clear, let me break some things down for you before I get into so many racy topics and you guys start flipping out, right? I am four things a quarter each because both my parents are half. That's how math works. And if you're hearing laughter, that's my niece. My dad is black and white. My mom is Filipino and Mexican. Okay. I'm a quarter each. So when I tell you that a gay Filipino man came into my shop with a Luigi Mangione shirt on, I I almost I almost broke character. It was my Friday. I just got done working 5 days in a row. It's my 39th hour of the week. And this guy comes in, do you like my shirt? Why the fuck do you want my opinion? That's like if I came up to you in a MAGA hat and said, hey, you like this hat, huh? Like, can I just sell you fucking weed? Okay? Can I just sell you some fucking weed? That's all I'm saying. Okay? Okay? I feel bad for the kid. He went through a lot. He put himself in a really dark place that a lot of us don't pull ourselves out to. I mean, when I was on drugs, I was at a huge place, a hugely dark place. But I never thought about killing my drug dealer in Colombia. Okay? That's like if I was like, cocaine ruined my life, my college life. I was 21 with my whole life ahead of me. I was 20 years old, so I'm going to fly to Colombia and kill. What do you think would happen? Nothing. So that's basically what I'm just trying to say about that whole thing. Killing anyone isn't necessarily the answer. And I think that's why a number of people, I mean, especially evangelicals, a lot of people who do believe in God, they find this is one of those lines, right? This is one of those lines that kind of defines the person. Like, this is where I'm in the middle and I'm sitting here and they're going, well, look, even if he did do all these things that you claim that he's doing, which he did not, okay, I'm not talking about the shit he did corporately. I'm talking about the shit he did as a person, as a man of this world. He didn't kill anyone. He didn't put a gun to your head. He didn't stab you. He didn't do anything. He had a middle-class upbringing. Some might argue lower. Some might even argue higher upper. Much like the star, and this is where I don't want to come off like a fucking dick rider, but I'm just saying the people you're attacking, they're not gonna fix anything. The next person isn't gonna be. In fact, they're gonna see what they did, and you think killing someone, like, the last guy who didn't help us got killed. Woo, that's motivation, right? That's real good motivation. The last guy, we schizophrenically thought he killed a bunch of people, even though he didn't really do shit, and he's just another guy doing his job, so we killed him. I don't know. We're moving backwards in some places and moving forward in others, and that goes for both sides. Speaking of sides, right? We have Drake and Kendrick Lamar. This is two very different sides. They not like us. And then the new Drake album, we got Give Me a Hug, Give Me a Hug, Give Me a Hug. I'm not making fun of that shit. That shit slaps. Both of that shit slaps. I'm from the West Coast. I'm from San Diego, California. So I love me some Kendrick. Now, do I love that it came at the expense of Drake? No, but he's Canadian, so I'll put my West Coast man ahead of him. But I'm a huge Drake fan. I mean, my literal nickname, if you go on my Instagram, it says Hotline AV. I've been called that since I was 14, 15, since the Hotline Bling song came out. It's been 1-800 Hotline AV. It's what it's been. That's what just because it's a joke between my friends. And then in college, my fraternity also called me Hotline. It was a fun thing. So I have ties to both. Here's a funny thing about these two. You guys like to think these two are so much different. Now, they are, right? But it becomes one of those things where you have two individuals. It almost feels like a fucking TV show, like an anime almost, where you have one individual who, for lack of better words, got it out the mud, right? And then you have another dude Canadian, grew up on TV, Degrassi. Now, did his dad have ties to Wooty Whoop and blah blah blah? Maybe, maybe. We do for sure know Kendrick does. Um, but these two, if you really think about it, brought out the best of each other. And that's what I'm starting to get at. It's like you have one dude who loves doing what he loves to do. I mean, we're talking about Kendrick here this first time around. He loves doing what he wants to do. He loves making his music for his people or for the people that he wants to make music for, in fact. That's kind of what it is. It's not even really his fans. What I like to think about it like is I think Kendrick is making music for people he wants to make music for because he has that freedom. Whereas you have Drake who wants to make music for the people. Now, does that mean radio play? Sure, but you have to admit that's kind of how he grew up. Through this, what have we been asking for both of them? Kendrick, since his first album, in my humble opinion, I think his first album's his best album, but I think G- let me get this out the way too. GNX is also an amazing album too. I love GNX to Pimp a Butterfly, but there's a certain vibe between Good Kid, Mad City and the last 2 years of Kendrick's music that we felt to be, how do I say? It's almost like I want you to do what you want to do, but I really want you to just maybe consider and factor in other things like radio play, like what's going on currently, maybe what kind of distinction between beats you want to choose from to make sure we can get some of those bigger hits and club hits. And I know, and dude, real as fuck too. My coworkers tell me they're like, and it's funny because I grew up more Drake, right, right. Now in their regard, out of New York, Bed-Stuy, a lot of those, so they, you know what I mean, different upbringing. They'll say, well, that's not what he wants to do. He doesn't make music for those people. But here is the question: what is the best music? Because look at Drake now. Only radio play the last like 5 years. Like that's all we've gotten. We haven't gotten anything. So we want, on one side, we want more, a little bit more, let's call it lack of better words. I know you hate the word, but radio play ish. You want a little bit more clubby. And on the other hand, you just want this other dude to stop acting like a cornball and be real. And from these two beefing, we got both. And I don't know how anybody cannot see that between those two, that they needed each other in a funny sense to bring that out of the both of them. I think it's true. I don't know. I don't know if people will hold up just because they won't let themselves like this album, but Sexy Songs for You is good. It's really good. Now, is it great? I'll have to let it sit, but it is really good. Now, what about the last two? The last two albums that Kendrick's dropped, or the last handful of singles, as well as the last album? I don't know, bro. Shit's pretty fire. So, I think rather than choosing sides and understanding this, I mean, you guys could even take an approach to your own or to our own country like this. Why don't we appreciate that the best parts of both sides, take what we like, and then make an amazing playlist? Because now I'm listening to Give Me a Hug, and then the next song that comes on is Turn on the music, this is your chance. You couldn't try me in a tri-state buddy pass. I'm going to give him splash till he hydrated. I'm hearing these two songs, and then all of a sudden, I got Small Town Fame up next. And then, like that next, I'm sorry, bro. I'm floating on the way to work. I'm sparking up. I'm floating on my way to work. I'm hopping on the train, bumping, floating. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I think the consensus is you can say one person won. You can say a different person won. But I really wouldn't care. But there is one part of it I want to talk about, though. I have a lot of people that might say things like this. Let me drink this water. They'll say things like this. They'll say, well, you only say that because I come from the standpoint of trying to say like what I just said. I'm not going to repeat it. But I come from the standpoint of, yo, these two people, right? Like I get, blah, blah. And they don't say anything about the Drake shit, right? And then the moment I open my mouth about the Kendrick side, they go, well, you wouldn't get it. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Because I'm an experienced hater, like, I mean, I'm a first ballot Hall of Fame hater. If you haven't listened to my sports podcast, just go listen to that if you like sports. But it's really for entertainment. But real shit though, if you're in a conversation with someone and someone goes, well, you just wouldn't understand, like you wouldn't get it. Because I said in said argument, I said, no one gives a fuck that he used to eat syrup sandwiches. And the first thing every person, whether it's my friends in San Diego, whether it's my friends here, they all say this, well, you wouldn't understand. And this is probably my fault. I mean, throughout my life, I've had an issue, unless you really do know me. And this isn't me going, and and another thing too is I hate going, well, I had to work, blah, blah, blah. I don't talk about that shit. Because if you ask me, shit, I'm going to tell you this. I had a great upbringing. And then someone's like reading the facts of it. It's like, huh, you did? I'm like, yeah, bro. What was bad about it? You're cool off this? Yeah. So there's a reason these happen. I've had a history of women telling me I love you. This is amazing. We're having a great time, but I don't know you. And that's my fault, right? But that's just how I am. I don't have this weird feeling of wanting to tell people how much I've struggled more than the next person. I don't have this feeling of wanting to wear all that shit on my sleeve. I have this weird feeling of shit happened, right? So you wouldn't understand, but let me just give you some lore since we're going to talk about understanding, right? Kendrick Lamar's from the West Coast. I'm from the West Coast. He's from LA, you're from San Diego. It's different. Listen, if you don't think half of California has family in every single city, you're fucking an idiot, okay? Just like how if you were in New York and you would say, yeah, I live in this borough, my mom lives in this borough, and then my uncle lives in that borough. But since it's an hour and some change away. You understand that? So, first of all, let's get that out the way. My dad is from Los Angeles. My father is from Inglewood. So, I don't know. They worked pretty hard. People in their lives work hard so their kids don't have to go through the same things that they go through, right? So, I'm educated. Trust me, I understand. And there was times in my life where my mom had to raise me alone. There was times in my life where things were pretty odd, a couple, but it wasn't years prolonged, right? It was a couple months, maybe not even, what's funny? Not even, it might have been a day or two, but it was enough for me to have a very clear understanding of what's going on. So you wouldn't understand. Trust me. Trust me. I don't know about everyone else, but you can trust me that I'm of the understanding of both men because I feel like, back to this whole weird general sense of, I kind of touched in a lot of different subjects. I get the suburbs. I understand the middle class. And I also understand, I'm not going to call it streets. What I'm going to say is I feel like I have a very clear understanding of a lot of people. And I think that comes from traveling. I think that comes from living in different environments where you aren't just surrounded, back to this whole thing, a bunch of fucking yous. And I'm not telling you to go travel the world and feel like you came back a different person. I'm not telling you to go to Thailand and ride a fucking elephant and then come back and be like, wow, I just have a different perspective of anything. You fucking don't, okay? What I'm telling you to do is have the thought that maybe this person across from you has been through some stuff too. And I'm not saying anything about my situation now. I'm talking about everything. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't really know. You don't really know. I mean, think about Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet is a celebrity who, growing up, We saw a transfer of people, celebrities used to be these things that you didn't know about. I didn't know who Brad Pitt was. I didn't know the only thing you knew about Tom Cruise was the fact that he was in the Scientology thing, right? So if you think about it, Timothée Chalamet, no one knew anything about this kid. I mean, growing up, I used to think he was just this another gay theater kid, and I don't mean gay as in he's I don't not. I literally mean I thought he was a bisexual. I'm serious. I'm being serious. Whatever. I thought maybe nepotism. Whatever. The last year and especially the last 2 months of my life has been nothing but a learning experience about Timothée Chalamet and a learning experience in terms of he now does have a fan and a real fan too. So let me tell you this. I it's college football game day. It's college football game day. I'm sitting here chilling. I'm seeing who the guest is. Maybe it's Shane Gillis. Maybe it's Kevin Hart. Shit, maybe they don't have a celebrity guest. Maybe they have someone, a coach, an NFL coach. I'm excited. Timothée Chalamet walks on the booth. I literally, visually, and verbally sigh. I go, oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's doing picks. He has 10 picks. We have 10 games, 10 picks, whatever, right? And he's saying all these things. He's making all these picks. He's being smooth. And I was like, whatever. Someone probably wrote this for him. I'm being a bitch. I'm being a literal girl. When men get jealous of other men, they turn into, I'm not trying to say that, but like women. You know what I mean? It's like, my God, like this guy's a fucking loser. This guy is gonna go on College Game Day on the show that I like. He's probably gonna get everything fucking wrong. I'm gonna make a bet today and put $50 down. We'll get back to that. But let me tell you this. This motherfucker went 10 for 10. This motherfucker went like 7 for 7 or 10 for 10. I went 2 for 7 or 2 for 10 and lost $50. I'm the fucking gay one. I'm the queer. I'm the one thinking I'm gonna make some fucking money today. Bro comes up in here after fucking Kylie this morning, fresh out the shower, pulling up on College Game Day, gets 7 in a row. Come to find out, he listens to the same shit I do, watches the same shit I do. Honestly, didn't grow up that well off, which I've even trying to become better at not letting that kind of get ahead of me because the military kind of does that to you. The military kind of gives you this sense of, I live here. It's cool. I'm going to be cool. You don't really think about it. Rank is something, but you don't think about the fiscal income that comes with rank, right? But I've been trying to get rid of that kind of mindset. It's like, oh, this person did this, but because each person goes through their own thing. But I was shocked to find out this kid is just a fucking dude. Is just another dude. And that's probably humbling for me. So you wouldn't understand. I'm the kind of guy that would look at him and go, you wouldn't understand. And then he'd look at me and go, what the fuck are you talking about? And then cook my shit for 5 minutes. Because I would say, you wouldn't understand in reference to NFL. And then his parlay hits and mine doesn't. And now I want to fucking kill him or myself. That's what you wouldn't understand does to a conversation. Because it kind of sucks when you run into an individual that might be the perfect person to understand. A person who started in one place, worked their way up, 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 up. Now, I can experience this side. And one day, I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to work my way up, up, up. And then the middle class might even go, well, you wouldn't understand to me again. And I'll have to deal with it better than I do now. But you wouldn't understand is the funniest things ever. But you know what's funny, though? I mean, maybe it's just going to be my life, though, not understanding. I mean, you take a peek at me, right? You look at me, you're like, I don't know what this guy is. Is he fucking... Right now, I probably look pretty Mexican. I shave. You guys are this guy Asian, Hispanic. He's probably Filipino. Probably white, too. The only people that really guess black are other black people, which is interesting to me. Like, I've never had to... Now, I know my causes, right? I think saying the N-word for a guy like me is pretty interesting. I've yet to say it on stage. In fact, I have a joke about it, how everyone really wants to say it. And I guess I'll just say the bit. The bit is basically like, you know, it's about cultural appropriation, cultures appreciate each other, sharing cultures. And I said, if you guys want to, I mean, if you guys really want to get involved with black people and why we're not mad at you, you have to offer something up. Like if white people want to white people want to offer something up, because apparently white women, they're not having that shit. They're not having that shit, I guess. There's something about that they don't fuck with, but I think it's funny. Um, I say Mexicans gave black people tacos. Now all of them say the N-word. Affordable, amazing food gives you the N-word pass. I don't know, bro. They're the only ones to successfully have done it, right? Asians have been trying to offer shit for years. I mean, anime, I'm gonna be honest with you, anime has led them able to get cornrows. They gave them anime cornrows, fucking baggy clothes. They don't question the N word, but in Japanese language now, because you have to say, what is it? I mean, Nika's just meat. That's a joke, but that's like a One Piece joke. I'm saying like an actual reference to language. Um, they don't even make jokes about that anymore. So you have to offer something. I understand what I look like. Okay. I know me using the N word is like going into, say, a Dollar's Tree, and not the Dollar Tree where it's like after taxes, and the Dollar Tree that's after fucking, it's like $2 now. We're talking about a real Dollar Tree, 2003 Dollar Tree. You walk in there with $1. Think about every item in that store. Think about every item in that store like a situation, like a situation to use the N word, right? You're full black. Shit. Everything up in here is getting used, right? You're half black. I'm not saying half black people can't. I'm not saying half black people do. I'm saying the less black you are, statistically speaking, there is no way in hell you don't say the N word less. Why do you think it's always dark skins that always are like, we got to get away from this word. We have to separate ourselves from it, because they see what's happening in a different light. They say it, maybe they're around it the most. Light skins, they say it less. 50-50s, 25s, so the situation is cut in half immediately, but there's still plenty of situations you can say the N-word. Now, let me tell you this. Being a quarter black and saying the N-word, those situations, now there are some people in this world, and like I said, this has never happened to me, and I don't give a fuck if it does, because shit's funny. But you only have that quarter. So I'm not going to, the first thing that I see, I see some bubble gum, 25 cents. Let me get that. Bro, no. You don't want to use this one on some bubble gum that you just walked in the store and you just saw. You don't want to do that. You want to use it on a situation that matters. You want to go around the halls, you want to check each item, and then all of a sudden you remember that one time your friend was screwing you over, right? Talking shit when you weren't saying anything. You ever be the homie that's not saying shit, just laughing, and then all of a sudden they want to get on you because they don't have a target? Right. That was, that was never me, but in this situation, it could be. And then I see it. The perfect scenario where I can say it and I can use my 25 cents towards something amazing. Those are the type of situations that I'm saying it, right? If I'm with my friends, if I'm talking to my friends, if I'm with my friends. And lastly, this is not a real one, but this shit just gonna get said from time. Like, I've only dropped this one time just because it is an automatic fight. So if you want to just start a fight, you could say this. I don't say it all the time, but I dropped a BAN. And if you can't connect those dots, then fuck you. I dropped a BAN in the club because bros yapping at my homie, bros talking shit, and I was just like, bro, no one's hearing all that shit. You're a BAN. What? So those are the only situations at which I will really say it, but I think that's where it comes from. The you wouldn't understand. But here's my thing, right? If we were talking about, say people fucking, if we were talking about border issues, what would you say to me? Would I get it because the way I look? Yes. So I'm understanding. I'm starting to understand. This is still a learning curve for me. This is still something that I still have to get through. You know what I mean? Not even really get through, but I've never been the confused type. I've never been the person. You ever see a biracial person who's just confused? Ah, it's so hard because I'm not black enough for my black friends. I'm not white enough for my white friends, and I don't really know how to. Really, bro? Really, bro? First of all, maybe, maybe first off, figure out what you are, right? I'm four different things. White part, I don't have to think about. They're white. They're just white dudes. They're fun. And you know what's funny? The white side of my family, they're the weed smoking, surfing, beach going, Molly taking, drink ordering kind of people. Throw something on the grill, you know? Some damn people, right? So I'm good. That's the culture. And then I realized that is their culture. If you're not like obsessed with something, if you're not like in Western society, Western white people, that's how it is. What on the West Coast? I love them. Great. A lot more conservative than you would ever think, but amazing. My Hispanic side of my family, we don't really, I don't know them. We don't know them. Dead ass. Dead ass. So what did I do? I decided, I decided to not learn Spanish, right? Because I had to learn Japanese because I moved to Japan. But living on a border town, I decided to take pride in a lot of the shit that happens in our city, whether it be the Day of the Dead, because there's a huge Hispanic culture in San Diego. So now I'm not confused. I'm not confused by my white side. I'm not confused by my Mexican side. Let's talk Filipino side. I am the closest to my black and Filipino side. So if someone asked me, first I'm black and Filipino, you know? So I know my Filipino side well. I don't speak Tagalog, but hey, don't talk shit around me. So let's just let's just talk about that, right? Do I have a full understanding of what I am? And then you have someone who had just recently discovered they're like 10% fucking South Sudanese, and all of a sudden they're confused. Just shut the fuck up. Okay? Just shut the fuck up and decide to either learn about what you are or just be fucking happy. Okay? Because it could be worse. It could be worse, right? I'm not talking about racially. I'm talking about you could be born with like a fucking handicap or something, okay? Shut the fuck up. It could be worse. Shit. You got her talking about you're confused. How do you think a dude with schizophrenia feels? How do you think a dude who was born with one leg feels? I'm sure he's pretty fucking confused as to what happened with him too, but at least we can explain you. Your dad's black and your mom's white, your mom's Mexican, your dad's this. That's what you are, kid. You can't really explain a real tragedy, but you guys are getting fucking obsessed with what you are and what I'm supposed to be and what's my true meaning on earth. Just shut the fuck up and clock in, because that's all the fuck you're going to be doing if you keep asking yourselves these same questions. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Next topic. Next topic. I'll lighten things up. A humpback whale. I'll lighten things up. A humpback whale swallowed a man whole and spit him out. Now, what if I told you, let me give you two facts. One, what if I told you that this happened more and is happening more as the years go on? And two, what if I told you that although we've seen so many plane crashes, right, we are still statistically having the least amount of plane crashes. Hey, hey, hey. These are just two things I'm just saying, right? But let's do the humpback whale first. I saw a humpback whale swallow a man whole, spit him out, and I've seen 7 different videos. Not the same man, different men. That's enough for me to never go in the fucking ocean again. okay? I've seen I've seen great white sharks so big jumping out of the water, leaving Australian men and women in shock. They have camel spiders in Australia. They have kangaroos with syphilis. They have, excuse me, koalas with syphilis, and they have kangaroos that look like they've been taking tren since they were born. These sea creatures, I will never go in the ocean. Don't tell me, don't tell me, oh yeah, this ain't a shark infested water. Bro, I grew up in San Diego, California, up and down the coast. I grew up in the Pacific. I grew up hearing about stories in Australia, Japan, Thailand, Singapore. Sharks, sharks, sharks. Shark Week has only gotten more You know what's Nick, you know what's funny? I just made a really good point. Matter of fact, this last Shark Week was hosted by John Cena and Kevin Hart, and you think I'm getting in the fucking ocean? Do you know how much money sharks are making? You think I'm getting in the fucking ocean with sharks after seeing John Cena and Kevin Hart? Bro, they finna have a week straight of murder. They finna have a week straight of stories of motherfuckers getting bit, motherfuckers getting killed. They might even, they're gonna interview the wife of a SEAL that died at this point. Do you know how much money Kevin Hart and John Cena make for 7 days of filming? 7 days of filming for Shark Week? These motherfuckers don't give a fuck. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck. So, no, don't ask me to go in the ocean, okay? Don't ask me to go in the ocean with you. Wow. Let me know when a D-list celebrity hosts Shark Week, and then I'll get in the ocean that week. Okay? But as of right now, shark stock is up, whale stock is up. And I'm not getting in. I've never liked the ocean. I'm from San Diego. I've never liked the ocean. I grew up on an island. I never liked the ocean. At first it was the sand, and then I realized that if I were to die by a way of I had no control over, that's something with me. I'd be really upset. That's really the reason why. If a shark killed me, I'd be upset. I grew up in swim team. I'm a great swimmer. I can shred for a really long time. I know how to surf. I'm not getting in no fucking ocean. Next. I heard a statistic. I heard a statistic that said that plane crashes have been at an all-time low. Cameras are out. We see it, right? A lot of them happening. And someone said, this is what happens when you hyper-focus on one thing. I'm forgetting what it's called, but you hyper-focus on one thing, and then you start thinking a lot of that shit happens. It's like when you buy a car. I didn't buy it, but my first car was a Nissan Cube. All of a sudden, I would notice every cube on the road, which was only about 10 of them in the city, probably. I'm seeing them all of a sudden, right? It's the same exact thing. So I don't want you guys to like see all these crashes and go, you think all this shit isn't connected? No, I don't. You don't think one singular issue is the reason and cause for all of these? No, I don't. Well, you'd be fucking crazy. That's wild. I was going to say the same exact thing about you. Now, is there questions as to how these things happen? Sure, but they're all different. But I just think it's funny. Like, you got some guy in Philly, like when this plane crashed, there's like probably some guy in fucking Philly that's on the internet too much, saw the plane crash. He probably thought it was a missile. He probably thought it was Hamas. He probably thought it was he doesn't even know who he thinks it was, but he's just saying everything. He's saying motherfuckers that haven't attacked people in hundreds of years. He's thinking, and it's a plane crash, right? And then that same guy will go home check the internet and go, oh, it was a plane crash. Huh. But that's still suspicious, though. That's still suspicious, though. I don't know. I don't know. It's not that suspicious to me, to be honest. It's not really at all. The only thing suspicious to me is, I don't know, why you haven't paid child support in 72 months. You're about to go to prison, buddy. But Philadelphia just won the Super Bowl, so who gives a fuck? Fuck those kids, right? Fuck those kids. Last thing I really got, last two things. I mean, I got Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, which, by the way, I've been listening to a lot of this news about them against my will. It's gotten to the point where I'm almost positive I was on the phone with my mom and my phone heard, Google heard me, Instagram heard me, and they were like, here's all the information about it. But here's been my consensus about Blake Lively growing up. And this is from other girls, this is from other women, this is from people who watch shows. Even I watch shows, hear stuff. Blake Lively has always been, for lack of better words, pretty bitchy. I was gonna say a bitch, but like, right? It wasn't this always kind of the thing. She was always kind of bitchy. Always fucked her co-star. Always said weird things in interviews where her coworkers roll their eyes or genuinely and physically and visually, and they look like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, why are you being a weirdo? That's been my consensus of her my entire life. And then I don't know about this Justin Baldoni guy. I mean, I don't know if he was making jokes at women. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. But in terms of this, I mean, apparently what the streets are saying is she caught feelings. He didn't. They have a lot of stuff that went down between them in terms of phone conversations, messages left. Ryan Reynolds went on set because I guess his girl Blake was upset, so he had to G-check him, and then Bodoni's like, G-check me? I mean, your girl tried to fuck me, homie. And I know he didn't say it like that, and maybe whatever, but she just doesn't seem like the kind of chick that would be opposed, because even if he was saying all this shit, because apparently he didn't, apparently none of this shit happened, apparently he rejected her, apparently. But none of this seems out of the ordinary for her. I don't know who he is, but if someone looked at me and just said these things to me as a person with no real education on Blake Lively, as a person who grew up literally in Okinawa, Japan, and hardly heard about her besides TV shows that aired once a week on our shows, on our 10 channels, I would say this lines up. I would say, yeah, I mean, she's a total bitch. Like, what are we talking about? Now, I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm not saying she's a bad mother. I'm not saying she's a bad wife. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm not even saying anything about her. But at the end of the day, in terms of her natural tendencies, she naturally tends to be a bit bitchy and be a bit, I kind of want to fuck my co-starry. And I don't, and as Ryan Reynolds, I mean, they joked about it on SNL's 50th. I seen it. It was fine, I guess. At first, there was a time in my life where I thought that'd be cool to be there with them. But he's like, you haven't heard anything, right? Making a joke about the case. I'm sorry, but like, you simply don't make jokes like that, right? And maybe this was his way of getting back at her. Maybe this was his subtle way of telling her, like, yo, you came to me probably upset, saying all these things. I made a fool of myself in front of everyone. I made a fool of myself to the public, to people on set. I have a certain stature of people when they see me and know what's going on. I mean, he's Ryan Reynolds, not the greatest actor. He plays himself. I mean, that's not even a hot topic. He literally just plays a dude. I mean, I could do his roles. Real shit. If they wanted a guy like me, they probably won't. But the point is, they made a joke about it, and I saw a lot of people saying you don't make jokes about that kind of stuff. You know, if it's really that to that extent, like if my wife was being harassed by someone on stage, I don't know if I would go on or in a movie, and I don't know if I would go on stage and talk about it, but you know, to each their own. You know, that's the kind of guy he is, and I think that's fine. I think that's cool. I like him. It's fine. But don't act surprised by this. That's really the only thing, and that's part of the reason why I feel like I can't even really like date an actress. You know, I don't feel like I can date an actress, especially if they don't win an award for what they're doing. I mean, she's out here making the worst movie of the year, just hooking up with people. That's just cheating. If you're just hooking up with people on set, I know they're not fucking, but you get what I'm saying. Every day for months on end, and it becomes the worst movie rated that year, I am filing for a divorce because you just cheated for a year. You cheated a year out of your kid's life, out of my life, for a certain, and it better have been a lot of money because there is a money line here. If it makes a certain amount of money, for sure, whatever is worth it. You don't make that much money, shorty. Like if Zendaya doesn't sweep the award shows, she made a lot of money, and her and Tom, you know, I'm not gonna get into Tom being butt fucked in a movie while she gets trained in a movie at the same time. I don't know how the fuck I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence, but they're both making softcore porn films at the same time, for no awards, by the way, no Academy Awards. Um, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't go on SNL's 50th and make a joke like that. I couldn't go on SNL's 50th and make a joke about how my wife caught feelings for another dude and got really obsessive, and then all of a sudden the voice messages she sent sound really kind of sexual. But he's like, huh, you know we can't do this, baby girl. Blake, I know you fucked literally every single one of your co-stars, but baby girl, you have a family. You know, I'm a director still. I need people to be able to work with me. So I don't know. But I guess that was really the wrap up. I mean, you know what? Fuck it. We'll talk about Elon Musk too. Elon Musk, a lot of people I don't know how he ended up in the positions that he ends up with, but let me tell you this. You don't need to be maybe intimidated, but he doesn't make any legislative laws. So you don't need to be intimidated by a literally autistic dude. Like, he is one of the most autistic celebrities I have ever seen. And I know, you know, oh, he's one of the genius. He's a dumbass. He only knows about one singular thing, okay, which is good, engineering, right? Whatever the fuck that means. Whatever the fuck engineering is, Tesla, whatever, people, you know, he didn't really, you know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is this. Someone put a chainsaw in front of him. He looked at it and goes, what did he say? It was the chainsaw of independence or some shit. And then he looks at it and goes, chainsaw of independence, grabs it, lifts it up and goes, chainsaw. And then he does his weird little emotes. He's autistic, and depending on like we're talking life here, like real life, not like a book, not like anything like that. Like, he's autistic and dumb in real life. So that's my scariest reasoning as to why I don't want him anywhere near the White House or anywhere near politics or talking to the president or talking to governors or talking to anything like that, because he literally is a fucking autistic dumbass. He doesn't know he has fucking 100 kids. He has like 13 kids, right? I don't know if that's real, but he has at least fucking like 8. Don't take care of none of them. All his exes talk shit, right? He's literally like an autistic dumb athlete. And then on top of that, too, I wrote something like, yeah, can't manage his kids, has no concept of like actual money. He doesn't know what like, he really doesn't, if we're being completely honest here. And on top of that, too, there's one other thing. What did I do? What did I write down? Oh yeah. Emos and like doesn't know where to put his hands. This is the guy you guys are getting afraid of. Just calm the fuck down. Okay. A lot of these guys you're afraid of, if you pull down the curtain, you'll just really realize that they were a guy who was a product of a lot of money. He's pretty fucking stupid at the end of the day. And it's just, he's going to be there. Okay. So I don't really know what's up with all those kids, with all his kids. This chick came out, said she's suing him for full custody. He's not claiming it. I don't really know. I didn't hear any news. All he tweeted was, wow. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's like if a girl came, like, that is literally the same response as like Tyreek Hill would have. Amazingly talented, pretty fucking stupid, right? Antonio Brown would come out and be like, wow. Did I say Tyreek? I meant Antonio Brown. I'm so sorry if I just said Tyreek Hill. That's like if Antonio Brown came out, yeah, I'm pregnant with your kid, blah, 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 blah. And he just tweeted, wow. What would you'd be like, the CTE, he's a dumbass. It's crazy what kind of athlete he was. Think about that same way, but with Elon Musk. Okay? Okay? Wow. Really smart engineer, I guess, but he's pretty much a fucking dumbass. You get what I'm saying here? Like, it's great what he did on the field, but off the field, he is literally useless. He might be one of the most useless individuals actually to ever live on Earth if he wasn't allowed to make spaceships. You know what I mean? If he wasn't allowed to make flamethrowers, if he wasn't allowed to, like, even the salute thing, you guys are like, he did a not. Do you know how autistic he is? He doesn't know even how to. And if you guys, well, he might know that, blah, blah, you're just doing mental gymnastics. Don't let mentally challenged people ruin your fucking days and ruin your lives, because it will. Okay? And this was a fiery first episode. I wrote, that's all I really got, okay? That's all I really got. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe. I'm going to have some shows coming up in terms of stand-up. And if you like sports, listen to the Players Club podcast. All we really do is entertain people, talk about sports, talk about just shit, and talk NBA and NFL specifically. So if you guys like this one, you'll like that one. If you like that one, you like this one. Or maybe not. Go fuck myself. But have a good day. And today's Saturday, so I guess our episodes will be dropping Saturdays or Sundays, one of the two. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.